Hello everybody and welcome to Quick Test Tuesdays here on the Sparkling Autos YouTube channel. This week we have Garage Therapy 2 Alpha Wax. So no waffling today, I'm just going to get straight into it, and before I apply the wax I need to get the panel prepped, which actually presents a perfect opportunity to use another product which is fairly new from Garage Therapy, and that's their panel wipe. Now no matter how good or bad a panel wipe is going to be, it's never going to be one to warrant an entire video to itself, so that's why I've included it in this one, because I don't think any of you, and certainly I don't, want to sit through 8 minutes of me talking about a panel wipe. That being said, I would actually like to add that this is a particularly good one. First of all, it doesn't smell like a bottle of vodka has been smashed on the floor, which you find with most panel wipes. This one actually has a rather pleasant citrusy scent to it, and secondly, it does a very good job. As you can see for yourself, it's just flashing away nicely, doing exactly what a panel wipe should do. And don't worry, the car was obviously washed and decontaminated prior to doing this. This is just getting that final bit of preparation done before we go ahead and apply the wax. And here we go then, so the instructions are standard enough. Ensure the panels are clean and dry, apply a thin even film, allow to haze for a few minutes and buff off using a decent microfiber towel. Nothing out of the ordinary, so let's just get stuck into it. Now, as I'm sure many of you do, I have my preferred methods for applying wax, so I tend to put the applicator in, give it between a quarter and half a turn, and I find this gives me just enough wax to put that thin, even layer on the car. Well, not the whole car, obviously, I will have to keep going back to the pot, but you know what I mean. And what I did find initially with this particular pot of wax is that the wax itself is actually relatively hard. Now, that may be down to the temperature. It was just above 2 to 3 degrees when I applied this. I even had my own reservations about applying it in that sort of temperature, but I contacted Maz from Garage Therapy who said it should be absolutely fine. So I went ahead and sure enough the temperature didn't cause me any issues whatsoever. Now they're funny enough that using these cheaper applicators, these are from WoWo, Wax On Wax Off, which is a detailing accessory brand, not to be confused with WoWo's the chemical manufacturer in Scotland. Now I bought these on offer last year, but I think even full price they're £6.49 for a pack of 6. And I've used them a couple of times now and had absolutely no issues whatsoever. But enough about applicators, let's get back to the wax. Now based on what I've seen from other reviewers, and indeed from other professionals who've used this wax for themselves, I didn't want to leave it on the panels too long. I've been told really 3 minutes is probably long enough. You want to get it off as quickly as possible. So to remove it, I'm going to use the Garage Therapy 1 Final Towel, which is an ultra premium microfiber cloth, which is a 550 GSM dual pile weave, one side with a nice tight loop for removing the wax, and then the other side plusher for giving it that final buff at the end. Now as I'm buffing it, you'll see that I'm getting my head quite close to the bonnet. This is just to see if it is actually removing the product. Although from this angle with the camera you can clearly see that the haze is being buffed away relatively easily, I can't see it standing beside the white car in this light. It also highlights one slight negative aspect of this wax from a personal point of view. When I'm buffing a wax, I like to feel that nice slickness, the cloth gliding over the panel as the wax is coming off. But this wax just doesn't give you that slickness. Now that's not to say there's anything wrong with the wax, that's a personal preference in that that's what I like to feel when I'm buffing a wax off. I did speak to Maz about this and he said that this wasn't intended to be a slick product and that that's what 2QD and 2 Sigma are for. Both of which can be applied on top of the wax, although obviously not straight away. You'd probably want to leave it until after the first wash at the very least. So although I wasn't sure at the time, it turns out I was buffing this off without any issues whatsoever. Well, I did almost have one issue. So after 2 years of dodgy pad flips, it turns out I nearly dropped the finishing cloth. But it didn't drop it, it lives to fight another day, so let's finish buffing this off and we will see what the gloss levels are like. There we go then, job done. So the description does say there's a strong focus on maximising gloss, so we'll take a closer look and see if it does exactly just that. Now it's no secret that white is a particularly hard colour to judge gloss on, but I think looking at it even from this angle there's definitely a huge improvement there. Although I did notice a couple of bits which may need a final buff, so we'll go over and do those now with the plush side of the microfiber cloth. And doing this with that plush side did again highlight that lack of slickness with the product. However, maybe sacrificing that slickness will actually add to the protection. Well, there is only one way to find out, so I'm going to leave the car for 4 weeks without doing any maintenance clean on it. However, luckily for you, that's only going to be a few seconds. So as you can see on the screen, 4 weeks later, and here we are back again. Now, this is going to be a very quick maintenance wash. I'm not going to go into too much detail here, and you'll be glad to hear that I'm not going to talk too much through all this. So mixing up the Garage Therapy Snow Foam version 2 at the lowest dilution ratio, which is 50 ml of product to 450 ml of water. And as always, using my favourite foam lance from ANTI-KINK Automotive. And now we're all finally mixed up with our 500ml solution, if the camera would ever focus on it, and we're ready to rock and roll. And taking a closer look at the bonnet, you can see that there's traffic film, there's construction dust on there, there's all the sorts of things that are exactly what you want the wax to protect it from, or to certainly make it easier to clean them off. Although having said that, it is still going to need a contact wash. There's no snow foam, not even this one, which I rate very highly, that's going to remove this type of contaminant from a car without contact. And before anybody even suggests built amber autofoam in the comments, I can assure you from experience that even at 4% PIR, it does not remove what is on this bonnet. I know, I've tried. Taking a quick look at the water behaviour then before we go into the cleaning, and you can see that it's not exactly mind blowing at this stage. In fact, it looks like a protection is dying that you would want to strip off and start again. Of course, experience tells you otherwise, and it's more than likely just clogged up, so we'll give it a bit of a clean and see what it's like at the end of all this. Snow foam pre-wash first of all then, which we'll leave to dwell for a couple of minutes. But thankfully for your sake, that's only going to be a few seconds. Rinsing the pre-wash off then, and although obviously it hasn't completely cleaned the bonnet yet, you can definitely see there is a massive improvement in the water behaviour straight away. Particularly on the top half of the bonnet as we look at it. The front here, as you can see, it's still clogged up with that traffic film, so we'll need a contact to remove that. But we'll take a closer look at the top to see exactly what I mean by the improved water behaviour. So as you can see, there's a massive improvement from where it was, but there's still a long way to go. So let's get stuck in with the contact wash now and see what difference that makes. Keeping it in the family then, and we're using 20ml of Garage Therapy 1 car shampoo and the large Garage Therapy 1 wash pad. And of course, the one-handed flat pip. Flat pip? Let me try that again. Pad flip. Answer's definitely on a postcard for that one. But back to the shampoo, and I can honestly say if you've never used this one before, it's one of the slickest shampoos you'll ever come across, as I'm about to demonstrate here. But enough messing about with wash pads, let's get the job finished and just see exactly what the water behaviour is like at the end of all this. Well, I've said it before and I'll say it again, the results really do speak for themselves. A simple maintenance wash with the Garage Therapy Snow Foam and 1 car shampoo really has declogged the protection, and you can see that it's come back to exactly where it should be, exactly where you'd expect it to be after 4 weeks. I'm not even going to apply any toppers at this stage, either QD or Sigma. It's shading really well, it's speeding really well, I'm very happy with that, and I guess that only really leaves one question. Now, I'll be perfectly honest, the lack of slickness in the application means that no matter what, this is never going to be one of my favourite waxes to apply. However, the protection at the end has won me over and it goes on the shelf for now. But I will keep an eye on it and see how long it does last. You'll notice the panel wipe has also made it on the shelf. Now, of course, as always, this is just my opinion. If you've anything you want to add, please do share it in the comments section below. Other than that, I'd like to thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Take care.